Okay, so I got my shit together a little bit now. Okay, maybe not. Relationships are very stressful, very powerful, and totally worth it if you're in the right one. No. If you're in the right one and both of your goals are the same and both of y'all have the same dream, or at least in the proximity of what you want for your future, if you and your girl both want at least one child and the good Lord gives you twins, you're done. And you're happy. It's awesome. Those good relationships is what I want to talk about now. The ones the TV dramas are made from. You know, where there's no problems in the relationship, there's no problems at home, and everybody's living that fairy tale romance. It can happen. I almost had that because I was trying to give that to her. And I wanted to give that to her come hell or high water. My financial situation has never been great, but I've never lied about it. I've never lived above my means. Once she needed some money, and I had just lost my job, but I could draw unemployment. So I asked her how much she needed. Unemployment, I was limited to, like, I think $600 because it's like a third of your paycheck. And my paycheck when I was working at Brown's before I lost my job, I never brought home less than $1,900 every 2 weeks. Because I was working full time, and I was working. I had like $9.50 an hour, almost $10. And I, being single, I didn't have a lot of wants, and some of the things I needed, I got so I could have my independent film thing starting. So I only bought things that I needed. I bought a camera stand, 2 video cameras, a bunch of tapes. That was pretty much it. I already had a computer, so I was ready to go. I was good to go. Before I met her, I filmed every weekend, and I would just do little stuff, and I did all kinds of other stuff, and then filmed some movies. You can go to Comfort Havoc 1 for that. Yeah, I was on my way, you know, and I wanted her to go on this ride with me, but she pretty much didn't see it the same way. But you know, she needed some money, and yeah, she paid me back. I think she needed like $300 or $400. I can't remember, but she didn't have it because she hadn't gotten paid. And I went straight to the ATM and drew out my unemployment for the month and gave her what she needed. She said, "Well, if you don't have a job, how you is?" I said, "Well, being that I wasn't fired, they killed my position. I get to draw unemployment for at least a year while I'm looking for a job," which is basically more or less what I was doing. And I was living off that money to pay my bills, fix my car, that kind of thing. And my car just kept breaking down. My little yellow Honda just kept breaking down. So most of my unemployment money went into fixing the Honda. But that one time that she really needed money and she was breaking down and she was crying, it hurt me to see her cry. So I gave her the bulk of my unemployment. She paid me back. You know, she paid me like right back. Like as soon as she got paid, she paid me back. And with that money, I put some in my credit union account and I gave her the rest. And she's like, "Why you give me this money back?" I said, "Because we love each other. You don't ever have to pay me back." You know? And that's the way I seen our relationship, as her being my freaking... I wanted her to be my wife. I identify her as my wife, even though we weren't married, and I was working on trying to make that happen. Y'all saw the rings in the other videos. You know, because I really wanted to be married. I really wanted to be married. And, you know, marriage ain't for everybody. And I really, 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 really wanted to be married because I was 35 to turning 36. I just lost my job though, so being married probably wasn't the best idea. But I really wanted to be married because I'm that guy that grew up with a father and mother who were divorced. And I spent summers in Charlottesville when my dad couldn't afford to get me. But most of my summers I spent in Smithfield, so I have 2 homes. You know, Smithfield was my home because I felt more love there than I do here. And you know, Smithfield's growing now, so you know, but there's no movie company or anything there. So, but you know, if I could If I could turn back time, and I can make a movie company, that's where it would be. Because Smithfield is like the ham mecca, and out of the blue, there's like a fuck ton of Asians there now. But there weren't none there when I was younger, unless you count the Native American populace, which still there really isn't much there. Outside of my grandmother and her mother, when I was a kid, they were really the only Native Americans really there. Everyone else was black or white. That was pretty much the gist of it. Now there's like a fuck ton of Asians there. Just Asian restaurants damn near everywhere there. And I need to go home. I don't have any money to travel to Smithfield, but, I'll get there. I'll get there before I'm 48. And, the whole principle was, had me and the girl worked out that we would move there. And that way we would be away from her family and my family, and we would come here to visit, but not stay. That way we wouldn't have people trying to pull us apart. I will never know the truth about how our relationship ended. But I do know that if I'm ever in another relationship, and any girls out there that are single that are watching, it's all or nothing, and we will have a good 10-minute talk before we do anything. Because if I'm not what you want, or you're not what I want, we need to know that before 2 years in, And I would hate to go through this again. I don't need 3 more rings sitting on my shoulders that never got on a girl's finger. So, if you're going to get in a relationship, first be honest with yourself. More importantly, be honest with her. Or if you're a girl, be honest with him. Don't put yourself in a situation where you can't get out of. And if you haven't seen your partner mad, this is probably the most important part of all 3 of these videos. If you haven't seen your partner mad, and if you haven't made your partner so mad at you that they not only don't want to talk to you, but they're like fixing to hurt you, then you don't really know that partner. Now I'm explaining that. This girl that I was with, I didn't drink beer around her out of fear that I would hurt her, because I'm a martial artist. Always have been, always will be. And she was the greatest gift that God ever gave me, and the last thing I would ever want to do was hurt her. So she would do things to make me mad. And I would tell her, I say, I know what you're trying to do. It's not going to work, because I love you more than you love me. And no matter what you do, you can't really anger me outside of the following things. If you're going to cheat on me, and you're going to lie to me about it, that's going to make me angry. If you get pregnant by someone else and say that it's mine, that's going to make me angry. If you slap me in the face or kick me in the nuts, that's only going to piss me off. It's not really going to make me angry. It's not going to make me angry to the point where I'm going to hit you back, because I was raised better than that. But if you coming at me with a baseball bat or a butcher knife, I am going to defend myself, because you will no longer be seen as a woman in my eyes. You will be considered a person. Any object in her hand that can bring me bodily harm, and that includes spoons, she is no longer a woman. She is a person that needs to be dealt with. So as I end this video, if you can live with someone who can get mega hella angry and they don't raise their hand or their voice at you, they're probably a keeper. She did a lot of things to me that most normal men would have probably put her down. She did a lot of things to me, and I, not one time in our entire 2 years together, not one time, no matter how many times she embarrassed me, no matter how many times she put her hands on me, I not one time in our entire relationship raised my voice at her. I never raised my voice at her. I never raised my hand at her. She slapped me down her friend's house one time, in front of her friend and her friend's boyfriend, down in the country. And I don't know, they were talking about our sex life, and I asked her, why is it okay for you to share our sex life with your friends, but I can't share it with our friends, or my friends? And she took her left hand, pow, slapped taste out my mouth. And I raised my hand up, and then I looked at my hand, because my hand was like this, and I put my hand back down, and I shook it at her, and I said, let me explain something to you. I love you. I would never put my fucking hands on you, because that's not what a man does to a woman. don't you ever hit me again in front of anybody. Now, I'm going home, and I will walk from Crozet to Charlottesville. You can meet me down the road after I cool off. Now, I'm going to tell you how much I love this girl. So, I went in her car, I got my bag, it was full of nunchucks and stuff. I went down into the bushes. I broke a couple of trees with my nunchucks, put my nunchucks back in the bag, and started walking back up there to apologize to her for everything I said. Even though I didn't say anything wrong, I just didn't want to lose her, you know. And she came barreling that car down there, and she stopped. And we cried, and we kissed, we made up, and we had no more problems. Until we went to go see Twilight. And then the relationship was over. We didn't spend a lot of holidays together because I'm really weird about holidays, especially Christmas, because we always lost people during Christmas. And her family, she's adopted, so they weren't Korean. Her family was white, and I didn't know how they felt about me crashing the party, and I didn't really want to ruin her Christmas. I didn't want her family to have to give me a gift, like a sympathy gift, because when you're an uninvited guest, you don't just pop up unannounced, And that's the only reason why we didn't spend Christmas and stuff together. But I went out of my way on her birthday, I can tell you that. And when my birthday came, she never gave me anything, and I never asked for anything. I was happy just to have her with me on my birthday. Because I'm not a needful person. No. I'm not like a needy person. I don't need anything that I can't use. And I don't have a lot of wants, rather. And if I don't need it, I don't want it. And so I've never asked for any gifts from her. She, on the other hand, I bought her gifts, and some of them she gave to her mom. They like the Valentine's Day candy I paid like $60 for Valentine's Day candy. It came with a bear, little red bear with a heart on it. There was, when I blocked the pictures because I didn't have the heart to delete them off my Facebook page, but they're in my private collection. And I put the heart that came with the bear and my butterfly knife on her butt and took pictures of it. And that was my Valentine's Day gift for me. I'm not a hard person to please. I really am not. And it still hurts me to my heart today that it didn't work out. But you move on. And time does not heal all wounds, no matter what anybody tells you. You get past it, but it never gets better. You just chuck it into, let me move on because I want to live, versus if I keep hanging on to it, I'm just going to lay here and die. And that's pretty much how it happened. I had to move on by force, not by course. And so, that being said, while we're on relationships, I don't want anyone to go through this shit. Ever. It's hell, man. And relationships, you have to work on them. No matter what anybody tells you, relationships are not all peachy cream cookies and whatever your favorite kind of ice cream is. Mine is vanilla, by the way. But, relationships take work. And they take precedent. And if you're not willing to put the work in, that's kind of what you get. So I want to end this before I start crying while reminiscing. I want you all to understand two things. Honesty is everything. Communication is everything. Before you begin a relationship, be honest and communicate. I hope that you guys learned something from these 3 videos. I know that this is always going to be a painful subject for me, but talking about it helps. I also know that, I'm open-minded and I'm single. I don't want to be permanently single, but I do know that before I ever give my heart and soul to another woman, she's going to tell me what she wants before the relationship begins. I'm not going to go through that crap ever again. So, sadly, happily single. happy because I don't have to answer to anybody. I'm sad because I don't have anybody to hold at night or be held at night. And I'm single, not just because of choice, but because I don't want to be hurt ever, ever, ever again. Now, there's a downside to being single. I surely miss sex. Thank you guys. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Company Habit number 2. Be seeing you.